So tonight, welcome to the Sydney Elementor for July. Tonight we are going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about creating a custom login page for your WordPress websites using Elementor and a couple of plugins. So that's the loose agenda. We try to start on time at 6 o'clock. We'll pass it over, let you guys do a little introduction of yourselves. And then we'll jump into today's topic. Hopefully, it should be time at the end to do a little bit of Q&A. You can ask about this presentation or just any kind of general Elementor questions, and we'll try our best to answer them and point you in the right direction. Here we are. These are the organisers. There's 4 of us. So I'm Wil Brown, and my background is I've been working with WordPress since about 2005. With Elementor in my stack for about 3 years now. I would consider myself a back-end developer, if that is such a thing. So I like writing functions and APIs and, connecting WordPress with other systems. So I kind of get my fingers in at the lower level. Not so good at graphic design, whatever. I'll let other people, like the professionals, do that side, but I'm happy to implement that. So I've been organizing this group for, I think we've been going for about a year and a bit now. I'm also organizer of the WordPress Sydney meetup, trying to boot the WooCommerce Sydney meetup group up. And I'm also vice president of Linux Australia, which is the primary organization for open source in Australia. And so that's me. We don't have John or Julia tonight, but we do have Morris. Morris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Morris. Been doing web development as a hobby probably most of my life, and carrying on doing that. I do manage it to have it in my other role, manage a team of IT professionals, and so this is a side hobby that is related, I guess. So here to learn with everybody. So welcome.
Thanks, Morris. Just to let you know that this is covered by a code of conduct. Let me see if I can, I don't know where my controls have gone, but you can see it on the screen, elementor.com/community/code of conduct. It generally just says be nice and respectful to each other, which I'm sure we can all manage that. We're going to give you lovely people, a few minutes to unmute yourself, just describe who you are, quickly what you do, and more importantly, what you're drinking. So I've got my cup of decaf tea here. I have my big cup of decaf tea, and I was toying up whether to do wine or water, but seeing as I'm speaking, I thought I'd go for the water just in case. I slur my words at the best of times, so having some wines in me is probably not a good idea. So if you would like to chat, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Stop. Why is that not stopping? Okay, I'll figure that out in a second. You raise your hand if you'd like to introduce yourself.
And you want us to introduce ourselves?
Yeah, just say who you are, what you do.
Yeah. Let me start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
No, am I to speak or Case Green is speaking?
RK, you go ahead.
Okay. My name is Ramakrishnan Vaidyanathan. You can call me RK. I have opened a website by name vaniacademy.com, and then I have purchased other links also. I'm basically interested in maths, teaching maths, free maths education. You can go through my if you want, I can share this website also. But I do not know what I did, and I did all myself. That's the thing. But I wanted to learn from lots of YouTube videos are on the Elementor Pro is there. I have been following it, but still I have created a login page also. But then that is at the back and still waiting. I do not know. I could not take it there. Therefore, I purchased another website just to put a login and then test. but that is again dumped here at the back end. It is there with me. That is .org. Before that, today I got a mail saying that you have to pay for it from the Bluehost. I do not know what to do. There was a site which I have not used at all. Should I pay for it? I'm just wondering. And this is all personal problems. But the thing is, I want to learn. You can, if you want, I can share my screen also, time permits later on at the back end, if you have time permits. And oneacademy.com without any space. And I have put mixed up to 3 things. One is I mixed up Six Sigma, that is one field, and mathematics, another field. That is the thing. And I have put all my pages in blogs and blogs in pages and things like that. That is again another confusion I have made. I do not know how to segregate it. I do not know what do you mean by landing page, because people use different jargons. Know what exactly is landing page? And you have 2 options in the Bluehost site itself. One is pages, another is but landing page is not there. Either post or pages only is there. Then why the hell landing page comes into picture? Is it just a jargon? The site that goes to, if I click something, if it goes to the site, is it a landing page? This is my confusion. I just want to clarify all these things. My aim is only to learn. Yes,
that's okay. We can try and fix some of those at the end.
That's thank you. I think I'm a maths fanatic. I'm a mechanical engineer, retired man, age 71 years, with 2 boys, one in US, another in Singapore. So I am all alone with my wife, probably pestering me not to work on computer. But I keep working on computer because I want to do something to my people, because all my education, I have to thank Dr. Robert Lopez from Maple, because I learned all the mathematics in the visualization way through Maple, only through him. I always mention his name because all my YouTubes, I've made 200s of videos, Vimeos, all these things are only because of him.
No problem. Okay, thank you, RK. We'll let some other people introduce themselves. Katz, you want to go ahead?
Hey, yeah, sure. Okay, I'm Katz. Obviously, it says it up there. Yeah, I'm a web developer designer, and I'm from South Australia. And I've got coffee and water.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks.
Nice to have you here, Katz.
And
Raphael?
Raphael.
You're still muted, Raphael.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm Raphael in French because I'm from France. I work as a graphic designer and web like WordPress and Elementor, and I launched my own activity about 1 year ago. So I've been making many websites, and I might need the topic that you say today, like launching.
Excellent.
This kind of topic.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
Are you going to keep silent? You going to introduce yourself? That's okay. No problem. Okay, let's jump into the presentation for tonight. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. There we go. So I'm going to show you, I did some slides. I'm going to show you roughly what we're going to do. So that's the default WordPress login that you all recognize. And you can get at that for yoursite.com, whatever your domain name is, /wp-login.php. There's another couple of ways to get there, but essentially that's the file that WordPress uses to log in to your WordPress website. So we're going to look at customizing that particular part of the site tonight. And we're going to use a couple of plugins as well. I have done slides for this, but I think I'm just going to do a demo and just show you guys exactly what's going on. So I'll stop the screen and I'll just flick off of that and reshare my screen again. There we go. Okay, I might just I might just switch my camera so I'm actually staring at you. There we go. That's better. Okay, so here I have a WordPress website. It's just a little demo website that I use on wordify.com. So it's a bog standard WordPress 6 point, whatever it is, 6.0, just at the moment. I have the Hello theme installed, and then I've got a child theme, which is just a child theme of Hello Elementor. I like to use Hello, this one here, Hello, because it's very, very basic, it's very minimal, and just allows you to build everything for that. So that's the setup I've got, just Hello and a child theme of that. Let's have a look, pages. So it's just the default pages. I've got a privacy policy, I've got a sample page in here. I have cheated a little, I've put a little logo that I'll use later on, but essentially that's it. So very bog standard installation there. So what we're going to do before we actually jump into Elementor, I've connected Elementor, I've activated Elementor free, and I've activated Elementor Pro, and I've connected it. So everything's working for that. But let's have a look at the plugin that we're going to have. So I've searched for Profile Builder. Do a quick search on that. It's this one here. So Profile Builder, User Profile, and User Registration Form. So we'll install that one. Now this is a free plugin. It does have paid extensions, but we're not going to use any of those. So you can use this for absolute free. That's it installed. So we'll activate that just now. There we go. So now it's taking me into the dashboard. It's taking me to the admin view for Profile Builder. The first thing to do is click on this create form pages. And what that does is it's going to create some, so 3 pages for us. That's going to allow us to customize the login, the registration, and the profile. So we'll click on that, create form pages. And here we go. So here's the new pages that's created: edit profile, login, and register. Now we're just going to have a look at login tonight because I want to keep it short just to show you the practicality of being able to customize this thing. If we have a quick look in here, so this is not Elementor, this is just WordPress, the block designer. We can see that there's this short code here. So the short code in square brackets, WP WordPress, PB for profile builder, and then -login. If we go back to WordPress, if we have a look at the edit profile, it's very similar. There's a short code there. And if we go back to register, another short code. So 3 short codes that this plugin provides. And once you have a short code that outputs the stuff, then you can start customizing with Elementor. Now, Elementor doesn't have anything built in. Which camera? I'm looking at this one. Elementor doesn't have anything built in for customizing the default core, the WordPress core login or registration or edit profile. So this plugin is generating a login screen, it's generating a registration field, it's generating an edit profile field through those shortcodes. And because it's shortcodes, we can embed those into a page, and Elementor allows us to build pages. So, so by using this little plugin, it extracts those things from the WordPress core and allows us to play around with those. So let's go back to Profile Builder. There's a few things that we want to do to set up this before we actually start using it. So now we can see this has changed because we've generated those pages. And we can see here now the 3 forms: login form, registration form, and edit profile. And it shows you here the shortcodes as well. So if you needed to copy them, if you forget, if you delete the pages, you can copy them from this basic information here. Now let's have a look at the settings. There's a few things we want to tweak. Let's just get rid of these messages here. Okay, so the first thing you probably want to do is this first option, which is load Profile Builder's own CSS in the front end. Nope, we don't want that because we don't want it generating anything. We want to have a clean slate so we can apply all the settings ourselves. So that's the one thing, uncheck that. Let's see, the only other thing I would probably change here is minimum password length. So I'll probably put that down to 8 or 12. And then for minimum password strength, I'm probably going to go with strong because we don't want people using silly passwords to log into our WordPress website. And save those changes. That's it. That's all the settings you need to do. There's lots of other settings, one for admin bar, for content restriction. So, you know, if you wanted to restrict some content for certain people, member roles, you can do that. You can, I'm not sure what private website is, to be honest, and then advanced settings for all those. So You can have a look through those in your own time, but we're really just in the general settings today. So that's all. We get rid of the CSS, so we're not getting all messed up. And then just minimum password length and the strength for there. And that's it really. So now we can start building. Let me just go to the pages. Okay, so here we go. We've got edit profile, login, and register. Those are the pages that have been created by the plugin. We're going to have a look at the login. Now, you'll notice that this is a brand new vanilla site. I've not been in here. I've not edited anything at all. So there's no edit in Elementor. You can't see that. So what we have to do at the very first time you're editing a page in WordPress and you want to use Elementor, you've got to edit it in the block editor first. So we'll go in here and we'll edit it. And then you'll see the button edit with Elementor. So we click on that, give it a few seconds, Elementor loads, and here we've got the Elementor interface from here. Now, if we jump back to the dashboard and then jump back to WordPress, now we can see that there's a little dash Elementor. Because we've been in Elementor, we've edited it in Elementor, it remembers us now. So next time we go in, we can, rather than do edit, we can again click edit with Elementor and go straight into the page builder. Okay, so here we are. Now it's just really imported. This is a very basic hello theme for those. So it's brought in a very simple header. So this is the header for the website. So it's got the site title and it's got the tag. It's got the page title in here. It's imported that little shortcode that the plugin has put in there, and we've also got the footer as well. So that's a very bog standard Elementor layout. What we want to do, we want to change that because we don't want a header, we don't want a footer on our login screens. We want a nice blank canvas. And in order to do that, we come down here to the bottom left and see the little cog down here. We click on that cog, which is settings, and then we can change the page layout. So we click on here. We've got some options. We can use the theme, but we don't really want to use that. So there's two Elementor options that we have. One is Elementor full width, which allows us to do like the full edge left to right edge of the screens. But the special one that we want to use tonight is Elementor canvas. So I'm going to click on that. And what you can see, what happens is it actually removes the header and footer. So Elementor canvas is a completely blank screen. And that's what we kind of want for the login screen. We don't want a header and footer. We want the canvas for that. So we'll update that one just now. Okay, so another thing that we can do is we can, let's see, click in here. So edit the section. So the section properties. Come along to the layout, which is the default one, and down to height. And we want to click fit to screen. Okay. What that does is it stretches the section out to the top and bottom, which means that even if you're looking at it on a mobile device, you're not going to get it all squidged at the top. You're going to get a nice full screen effect, top to bottom, left to right, which is what we want. And it centers the content for us, which is quite nice. We could do that as well. We can like center using the vertical line, but it does that anyway by default, which is nice. So that's us. We've got our section full screen. We'll get rid of the header and the footer. Let's update that just now. And let's go and have a look at the page. Let's see if we can do that. See if I can move some of this stuff along. So I've got the zoom stuff, which is rather annoying. Okay, so let's see. Exit back to the dashboard. And we can't preview the login page because we're already logged in. But what we can do is we can log out. So let's log out. Let's go back to the dashboard. Log out. And then refresh this. No, sorry. I got ahead of myself there. Sorry. We've not replaced the default WordPress stuff yet. We're still in pages. Okay, so we're in this page here, login. Now I'm going to view that. So if you hover over view, you can see the permalink hovers. So let's just edit it in WordPress. And the permalink. So that's the URL down here. So /log-in. So let's have a look at that. Okay, now we can't see anything because we're already logged in. But if we log out, now we're looking at this page, and now we've got no header, we've got no footer, it's bang in the center, everything's a blank canvas. This is what we want. Okay, so that's the first step to get to there. Let's log back in. Okay. And we'll edit the page with Elementor again. So it's looking pretty good so far, but we could do a little bit better than that. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to put the a logo in here. We click on here. So we've got our section, and then we've got our column within the section here. We want to find image. We can do image and then drag that on to here. Now we could do a dynamic tag and then do the site logo. So if you're setting this WordPress website up using the customizer, sorry, I keep staring at this camera, set it up with a customizer, you can bring in the site logo from there. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do super simple today. I'm just going to choose an image. So click on the image, the content, choose image, media library. I've already got this little thing set up, and then insert media to that. Now, this is quite a big logo. It's quite a big image from there. We don't really want it that big on our login screen. So I'm going to go down to medium's probably a little bit too big still, and maybe thumbnail, 150 by 150. So you can, of course, scale that however you like when you're uploading your image, and you're probably best to do that. And it's probably a good idea actually to use the dynamic tags. I don't know if you've used dynamic tags before, but this little kind of stack is probably a good idea to set it using the site logo in the customizer, so that then the client can change that logo and it reflects through. But we're keeping it super simple tonight. So here we've got an image, and then we've got our login stuff below. So let's have a look at the column. So at the moment, it's just kind of a floating white entity. So we want to give it a little bit of definition. So we click on the column property, we go into the style tab, and then down to border. And we want to give it a little bit of a box shadow. So we'll click on that. You can see the shadow starts to emerge around. And just to make it a little bit groovier, let's give it a little bit of border radius. And border radius rounds the corners and just makes it look a little bit nicer for that. So let's update that and have a look and see what it's like. We'll do a preview. Okay, so you can imagine that's the login fields down there, but it's looking okay at the moment. We've got a little bit of padding which comes with it anyway. You can maybe increase the padding a little bit more on the left and right. We can do that. It's probably a little bit too long though, because it's a little bit stretched out. That's just the default settings that come with Elementor. So let's have a look and see what we can do about that. So we click on the edit column, back to advanced. Is it advanced? No, it's a setting. Sorry, up to the section that we want, and then width, and we want to change the width of that. So probably around about 500, 520, maybe 540 for that, and then we'll update that and just have a quick preview. Okay, now that's starting to look a little bit better. It's a little bit more defined. It's not too stretched out. You could probably go a little bit shorter than that if you wanted to, but that's looking good. So we've got our little frame. We've got our company logo at the top. We can do a little bit better with the padding, I think, and that's where you come into the column advanced, and then we could do padding. So the difference between margin. So margin is outside. Padding is inside, so we want the padding. We want the padding to be a little bit better. So let's do unlink all the values together. I'm going to do right, maybe 20 pixels, maybe 40 pixels. We'll do left 40 as well to keep them the same, and then maybe the top 20 and the bottom 20 for those, and update that. And let's do a preview. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So we've got some white space now between those. You can change that. Obviously, you can hit that up with whatever you want for your website. Let's just log out though and have a quick look and see what it's like. Oh, I'm in a draft. Let's do that properly then. Back to the dashboard. Okay, let's view this one. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's log out. Copy that link. And then let's visit that page and see what it's like. Okay, that's looking not too bad. Yeah, that's looking okay. And you can see the customization start to come in. I've not got any colors in that at all, but you know, that's looking pretty good. We've got this login button down here though, and you know, it's looking a little bit off color. So what we can do with this, because Elementor can't access what's inside the shortcode is generating the login form from the plugin. So we don't have access to the actual button itself within Elementor, but what we can do is we can hit it with CSS. And I like hitting things really hard with CSS. So within your browsers, if you right-hand click on elements, then if you're using, I'm using Edge for this, but you can use Chrome, and Firefox has its own ones. It's called Inspect or Inspect Element or Inspector. You can click on that. Can you guys still see that? Okay, good. Okay, so what this is doing is you've got your inspector here, and it's showing you all the CSS that's associated with all these different elements. So you can click on this little icon here, which is selector, and then you bring it along, and it's looking at all these. So you can hover over all the different elements. But we wanted the button, so we'll click on that. Okay, so now it's taking us to the right area in the code that's generating that, and further on the styles, it's showing us the exact CSS classes and where all those colors are coming from. So we can see here, we've got type equals button, type equals submit, and button, and they're all using that style, and we've got the color and background and border here. So we can copy that. I'll copy selector for those. I'll just make sure I was going to cheat. I'm going to copy it into Notepad on this side. Yes, I've got it. Good. And then I'm going to log back in. So this is a bit of a pain to do because we can't preview the button. It'd be nice if we could do the customize and preview and see it in real time, but we can't really do that. So let's do customize. Get rid of this inspect element. And right at the bottom of the customizer, there's additional CSS for here. There's a little bit of blurb here that tells you about it. Once you've read that, you can just close it. So here we can add CSS, and we want to target that button. So we're copying and then pasting that stuff that's that we use for the inspect element. So these are all the class types that allow you to style the button. So we're going to create our own style. We're going to go background, color, and I'm going to choose salmon because I think that in the logo, there's a kind of little salmon color there. I don't know the exact color, but that should be close enough. So background color salmon, and then we'll do background salmon as well, because sometimes they just address background rather than background color. And then we'll do that with a publish here. So let's log out and have a quick look at this URL. Now, I could do this a lot quicker if I had another browser or another screen. I could just have it logged out and refresh and see if that's picking it up. And we'll refresh this. Okay, now it's not changed that color. I wonder why. Let's just do a little trick and see if this works. V equals 1. There we go. So what I've done here, I need to change the color and the hover, but it didn't work initially when I went to the page because it's the browser's already cached this particular page. So a little trick, if you're adding CSS and you're not seeing it come through and you're like, why is it not coming through? You can put a little query. Can everyone see the address bar at the top there? So where it's saying /log-in, I can put a little question mark, which is a query, and then V equals and any number. As long as it's a unique number every time. So I started off with 1, I do 2. What this does is that's a different URL. So the browser thinks that's a completely different URL because you've got additional thing at the end, which means it's not cached. So it then loads in the CSS, a different CSS again. It's a little trick that you can do, and it doesn't matter what you put in here because this is just something like that. As long as it's unique every time, then it'll reload the CSS again. So we can see here, it's obviously got a hover on it as well, but you can see here that the color has kind of changed a little bit for that. So you can tweak that as much as you need. Let's see if we can center it. See where it is. So I'm in the inspect element again. I'm having a look. So I've got the login button here. I can see here that it's surrounded by a paragraph, class login dash submit. For that, let's just, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to type that. So p dot login dash submit. I can play around with the CSS in here. It's not going to be permanent, but I can play around to make sure I've got the right selector. So I'm currently on the the paragraphs with the class login dash submit. So I can go up to element style and add some new stuff here. So I want to say text align center. Is that going to do that? No, it doesn't do that. Of course it doesn't. Let's see. Did I not spell it correctly? There we go. I didn't spell it correctly. So text align center. So that is the right class. It's the right selector, but that's not permanent. This is just me playing around in the browser for that. But I know that I've got the right selector now. So I can then go back into the pages. I'll get rid of that one. Log back in because I'm logged out. So let's edit with Elementor. Oh, no, not edit with Elementor. Back to this, the customizer. Sorry. Customize, additional CSS, and then we want that selector that we found, which was a paragraph, and then the CSS was login dash submit, and that goes to the right paragraph on that form. And then we want to say text line center, and we'll publish that, and then we'll go to that page again, and we'll log out. Geez, all this logging out is horrible business. And then visit the page, which is log-in. Okay, oh, and it's picked up this time, so we don't have to put that version, but we could do question mark version equals 3, or 4 that was not used, and it'll pick up the new CSS for that. So now it's centered. So now we're on our way to really having a really good customized login screen there. Okay, let's log back in. But let's log back in. But if we're trying to log into WordPress, it's still got the default one. So we need to replace the default WordPress login with the new page that we've created. So the new page URL, let's log in. The new page URL is log-in. So we need to remember that one, and we need to load in another plugin. So just 2 plugins tonight, that's all we're going to use. So we're going to add new. So the plugin to install is called Redirect. Oh, redirection, sorry, redirection. Let's install that one. Doesn't take very long. It's only a tiny plugin, and then activate. Okay, so that's just done that. The plugin's been activated. Let's go to it. It should be in Tools, Tools and Redirection. Yeah, welcome to Redirect. A little startup wizard. You can do manual, or you can just kind of go through this. No, I don't want to do any of that. No, I don't want to do that. It's having a look to make sure everything's set up properly. That's good. Continue, ready to begin. That's it. All done. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to create a new redirection. Redirections are just a simple way of telling the web server, no, don't visit that page. If you visit that page, go to this page instead. It's technically called a 301 redirection, but the default is set up for this. So the source URL, now this is relative to your own domain name. So this domain name is zpddemo.wordifysites.com, but you don't need to put that in. So it's all relative to whatever your website is. So you don't need to bother about putting in your website address. So the source URL that we want to redirect is / and then wp-login.php. Okay, so that's the WordPress login file. So you want to track the source of that. So whenever somebody hits wp-login.php, we want to redirect it to somewhere else. So the target URL, again, this is relative. So we're doing slash, and then we want that page name that we're using. So log-in on that. Now, because the WordPress login, because that file, wp-login.php, because it handles logins and registrations and forgotten passwords and all that sort of stuff, then you'll notice that there'll be lots of question marks, lots of query stuff that's added to that. So what we want to do with that for the query parameters, we just want to ignore them and pass them through, just in case we want to try and use them at a later stage. If we don't ignore the parameters, then if your WordPress login, if someone's logging in and it's got some queries, it's still going to go back to the WordPress core. So we want to make sure we get all the query variables as well. So ignore and pass parameter to the target. And that's it. Then we add the redirect. Okay, so now it's seen here. So we're redirecting wp-login.php, the WordPress core login file, to this new page that we've just created. So let's test it out. So I'm going to log out from here. Okay, and then let's see if we can log in. So wp-login.php. There we go. So you can see I did type in the wp-login.php up here, and it's redirected to the login there. I don't know why it thinks I'm currently logged in. Log out. Okay, there's a little bug there. I don't know why it's not logging me out. Oh, I see. So it's trying to do that. Okay. I'll need to figure out a fix for that. So I can't log out because it's redirecting to that page already. That's not very good. Okay, I'll figure that out and I'll let you guys know how to fix that for that. But let's just go to the redirections, tools, redirection. Let's see if we can edit that. Let's see. I'll just yep, I'll cancel that one for just now. So let me just I'm going to disable that just so we show. I must have unchecked an option there, but let's just visit the website here. Visit the page. Okay, now just pretend for a second that we are logged out. Let's see if I can log out and enable this and see if this will work this time. Oh, no, it's not doing it. I am very sorry. It's worked perfectly when I was doing it this afternoon, of course, and now it doesn't want to work for me. I don't really know a way around that. Of course, it's going to redirect to that page again, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll figure out how to do that and let you know how that's. I must have unchecked or not checked an option in the back end there to log in. That's the essential. That is the process for doing it. I'll figure out how you fix that that redirection so it works with the logout thing. But that's the process that we use. It's the profile builder, which sets up those 3 pages, and then that allows us to use the shortcode to embed into the pages, and then that allows us to then use Elementor to skin that page with the shortcode in the middle. And it's exactly the same for the register one as well. So let's have just a quick look. I'm not going to do the register, but I'll have a quick look at that. So we can see here, bring it into Elementor. We probably want to do the same thing for registration. So we probably want to do the page layout and do it on canvas. So we get rid of the header and footer for that. And then we probably want to, in the section, let's just click on that. And then in the layout, we probably want to do set fit to screen as well, just so it's a nice in the middle. So let's just have a quick look at that and see. So again, this is not the WordPress default registration. This is the one that's come with the profile builder. And we can see here it's got username, first name, last name, nickname, and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot more than comes with the WordPress core registration. And it's quite handy if you want to collect more information upon people registering your website. You might want to capture a company name for those. Nicknames would be a good thing as well to do. All that is handled by the plugin. So if you come down here and exit to dashboard, let's go back to WordPress. Let's have a look at Profile Builder. You'll see that under settings, you've got form fields. And again, this comes with the free version. You don't need any bolt-ons for those. But you've got a list here. So you've got name, username, first name, last name, all these sort of things. So you can edit them, and change the field title for those. Then you can change the actual field itself, and there's quite a few that you can select for those. And then you can basically customize your registration login, so you can capture more information than you would normally do on a core WordPress registration form, which is really handy if you're trying to do this sort of thing on a budget and you don't want to go full out for a site membership, a plugin for that. You can grab quite a lot of information upon registration, and you can select. You can get even more information on the add-ons. So again, this is where you start paying for stuff. So you can have multiple registration forms. You can have different fields as well, different fields that you can add, or you can add a custom field. So you're capturing custom information on registration as well. But I didn't want to go into that tonight. That's probably enough for another session completely user registrations. But that's what I just wanted to demonstrate the basics tonight. So we've used the Profile Builder to generate these 3 pages, which is login, edit profile, and register. And then we've went into there, we've customized it using Elementor. So we've changed the section, and then we've changed the paragraph, the column. Now you can get super fancy. You don't need to have it that size. You can create this, full height, and then you can have like multiple columns. You can have a 2-column with a picture on the side, which is what I have in a lot of my client websites. But this is just a really quick, you can see how quick it was just to customize that. You can kind of go crazy, whatever you want to do. And of course, being with Elementor, it kind of allows you to do, it opens up any design that you want to have for your login. And then we are replacing the login with the redirection tool, which I will figure out why that's not working, and I'll post up to the meetup group, just so you know. But we're essentially redirecting that to the page that we're currently using. And you do the same process for registration as well. Let's just disable that. I think I know where we're going wrong, actually. So I've disabled that just now. Let me log out quickly. I'll refresh that and log out. All right, so let's see. So when we're logging out, it's using this action equals logout. So let's see if I can add an exception into that redirection. Enable that and edit that. Exact match. There we go. Give that a try. Okay, so log out. There we go. That logged out. Okay, so let me just see if this will work. wp-login.php. There we go. That worked. So what I've done was I was passing all the parameters in, but I shouldn't be doing that, not for the login screen. I just want to match the exact one. So just wp-login.php, and that's working now. So you can see here now, if I type wp-login.php, if I spell it correctly, PHP, it redirects to our custom form. If we do wp-admin, which is another way to get into the dashboard, it still doesn't work. So we need to have a few more conditions for that. There's another one that WordPress uses. I think it's just called login. Oh, it's covered that one, but you need to add another condition for WP-admin to go to that one as well. But that's it. There we go. It's using the little login form there. Really easy way to customize login screens, free as well. It doesn't take too long, and it also gives you the ability to change the registration and edit profile as well. So hopefully that's giving you a little bit of an idea as to how to go about customizing. There's 3 or 4 different ways as well. For that, let me just share my screen again, slideshow. Okay, we'll put this in full screen. So I've went through that one, went through profile builder, all the login stuff, logo, additional CSS, and then the redirection. And that's that. So if you guys got any questions about that particular kind of login process, happy to take some questions. Unmute yourself and you can ask us something or drop it in the chat as well. Before I get rid of the slide, I've got one last one here. So next month, which is the 1st of September, 6 AM, I'm going to be extending the talk for tonight, but talking about custom admin dashboard. So we've kind of looked at custom login screen, but next month I'm going to be talking about an actual dashboard. So that's when someone logs into your WordPress website, you can show them a custom dashboard. So it might be like welcome videos. It could be like an onboarding script. You could have like a support form in there that people can fill out. So that's what I'm going to be talking about next month. But if you want to drop any questions in chat, or if you want to ask me anything about this process, unmic yourself, put your hand up, drop stuff in the comments, and I'll see if I can help you.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, I think whatever you have said today is purely using Elementor free plugins, right? If I have Elementor Pro and Action Pack plugins, I think that is a easier thing. That is a better also, right?
You can have you can use Elementor free, and then there's some plugins that you can use to mimic what's happening here. The Pro version gives you access to a lot more design capabilities. But this basic process will work with the Elementor free. You don't need the Pro version because in Elementor free you can still select the canvas, which gets rid of the header and the footer. So you can do it with the free version. You don't have to use the Pro version.
So what you have explained is based on free version.
Yes.
Yes, today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want to have one more doubt. Can I have?
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks for the links. And we will have this video and we can make it using Elementor free plugins, even though I have a Pro version. Yes or no?
Yes.
Even though I have a Pro version, I can still use this free version and then make this pages, login pages.
Yeah. So in order to use Elementor Pro, you've got to enable the Elementor free version anyway. And the Pro version kind of sits on top of Elementor free. So you get all the stuff in Elementor free when it's enabled, and you've got the Pro stuff on top of that. So yes, it'll still work.
And then is that the CSS is a must that you have to copy from, you have to go to the inspect and then copy and paste it in that is a must, no? Without that, it will not work.
For this particular setup, it is, because we're using that profile builder plugin to generate the short codes that outputs the registration form, which is the username or email, the password, and the button. Because we can't see that within Elementor, we can't click on those elements and custom directly in Elementor. So we need to use CSS to bypass that.
That we can do only with the video, that is with the video copy given to us, no? This video.
Yeah, you can follow those instructions and then you can target
without
any
this, we can't do that. We cannot do that. We can't touch anything because it is so complicated. No, you go there and then click that CSS, which itself is mind-blogging. Yeah, just take it a step at a time. Okay, we can see here I didn't do too much CSS. It was just targeted for the button, just to change the button color. Learning CSS is probably a good thing that you want to do as well, along with learning Elementor and stuff, because it allows you to give you a little bit more flexibility. Because Elementor is good, but sometimes you can't target everything within the Elementor editor.
So having a foundational knowledge of CSS and where to go and how to apply that is probably a good thing to put on your to-do list as well.
Thank you.
Yep, that's no problem. There's also some other plugins that do this. So let me just have a quick look. Plugins. The one that I tend to use is Essential Add-ons for Elementor. Now I use the paid version for that because it gives me access to more stuff. But there's 3 or 4 of these plugins. There's Essential Add-ons, and then there's the Ultimate add-ons, and then there's another 2 that should do roughly the same thing. They add more elements to Elementor for paid. Now there's I think most of these add-ons they come with a WordPress registration form module. So we looked at a way to bypass that, so we can use the Elementor free version to do that. But if you're using one of these paid plugins like Essential Add-ons for Elementor, one of the components, one of the elements that it comes with, that it adds to your Elementor dashboard, is user registration and user login, which means you can drag that widget, that element, across to your canvas, and then you can click on the fields. You have access to the username field, the email field, the password field, and the button. So you can customize that within Elementor. So this was kind of a sidestep way around that. But if you want to, if you want to be able to edit that stuff in Elementor, you're probably going to need to buy one of those additional plugins like Essential Elements for Elementor, just to get that little element, because it doesn't come with Elementor. So we've not got anything in chat, no questions in chat. Raphael says she'll be there next month. Good.
Thank you. Thank you. See you. Hope we can make one and then show you if we succeed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you help us to make one.
I would love to see that. I would love to see that. It's always good to do a show and tell.
So there will be a follow-up, no? There will be a follow-up with us, and then we have made a correct, we have followed it correctly and then made one login page with this thing. We will try.
Yeah, I mean, you can take a picture or send a link in our Facebook group. So we're live just now on our Facebook group, which is Elementor Sydney.
How do we convey it to you? How do we convey to you? How do we correspond to you?
You can contact me on the events.elementor.com. And then the
chat box, so that I'll copy it.
And then the Elementor Sydney group. And then you can send me a message directly through there.
Okay. I can address to you, Wil Brown.
Yep.
No. Events.elementor.com, right?
Yes. No, we're not on Meetup anymore. We're not on meetup.com anymore.
Okay.
It's just on events.elementor.com. All the events that they've taken away from Meetup for Elementor. But if you go into the chat box, that's my LinkedIn.
Okay.
So you can connect with me there if you want to ask me any.
This looks like a site, no? This looks like a site, no? Oh, yeah, I can message here.
Yeah.
I can put my message here. I can refer this video and then message here.
Yeah.
That's fine. Hopefully, I will not do it, but if it is very, if I'm stuck up, then I'll have to.
That's okay.
Because whenever we get into a problem, we don't know whom to approach, even in the things. Because one particular, he should have faith in me. I should have faith in him. That's probably.
Probably the best thing to do, RK, is to join some Facebook groups. So there's one for the Elementor global community. So a lot of people ask questions, how-to questions on that. And there's a lot of experienced people on there that answer questions. Or you can use our Elementor Sydney Facebook group as well. But the global one is probably a good one for you, because you'll probably get a faster response. And there's a huge amount, thousands of people on there.
Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else got any other questions? No. Kat's is shaking her head. No, she's done for tonight. She wants her wine. Rune, all good. Oz Tech, thanks for joining. Okay.
Really?
I'm going to let everyone go now. and thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully that was useful in some context for you. Join us next month and we'll go through the dashboard one. It's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more drag and droppy and fancy schmancy. But we'll hopefully see you lovely people there. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. Thanks, Morris, for helping out as well with moderating. I hope to see your lovely faces later.
Thanks very much, Will. It was great.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.